go time in WCC men's basketball. Conference play commences, and we've got a great opener standing by at the Chiles Center. University of Portland hosting LMU, showcasing some of the best talent the WCC has to offer. Good evening, everybody. Ann Chet's joined by my broadcast partner, good friend, that's Jennifer Mountain, former standout at Gonzaga in the coaching ranks in the WCC as well. You in particular are loving this matchup. We've got a couple of teams that are loaded with talent, have something to prove, and why not prove it in the opener?
You're absolutely right. It's opening weekend of conference. Non-conference is over. Everything you've done so far, you've learned, you've grown, but this is what it's all about. And both teams, like you said, are playing for it. They have something to prove. They have some dynamic players, and it's going to be an up-tempo, very fast-paced game tonight.
All right, let's take a look at Cam Shelton. I mean, this guy, you know, this is a guy that says, okay, Eli Scott can graduate, but I'll take up the slack.
Oh my gosh, he's in his second season with the Lions. He's a transfer out of Northern Arizona. He has really come into his own. Third in the conference in scoring. He is in top 5 in steals and assists. Dynamic scoring point guard who really makes this team go. He can shoot the three, he can turn you over, creates, get in the paint. He does it all for these guys. He is the leader for LMU, and he's got to have an overall great performance on the road for them to pull out a victory.
All right, besides Shelton being big, what does LMU have to do to come away with that win?
Well, number one, they need to be locked into their game plan. No personnel on the scout, really important. They need to make Portland take tough, contested shots, protect the paint, and don't let Portland get to the free throw line.
All right, let's talk about the Portland Pilots. They played this LMU club 2 times last year. In game 2, how about T-Rob? Triple-double for the ages.
Oh my gosh, this guy leads the team in so many categories. Like you said, he had this dynamic triple-double last year against these guys at home. He's in 6th in the conference in scoring, top 20 in rebounding, but most importantly, he leads the nation in assists, which is huge. He's solid. He's a hard matchup for opponents. Super smart, sees the floor so well, and just makes great decisions.
31, 11, and 11 last year. And you know what's going to be really cool tonight? T-Rob's parents are in the house. I love it. All right, Pilots, what do they got to do to pull out the win?
Number one, they got to protect the basketball, limit turnovers. They need to slow Shelton, especially in the open court, because he's so good in transition. Take away LMU's three-point shot, and then honestly, rebounding will be a huge factor offensively and defensively tonight.
All right, settle in, grab some dinner, maybe a pre-holiday bevy, because we're ready to go. LMU, the Portland Pilots, WCC opener, baby. Heck yeah! Lineups and opening tip coming up next. Well, this is a terrific night to spend with us at the Chiles Center on the campus of the University of Portland. Tonight, the Pilots hosting LMU, conference opener for both clubs. Huge game for both clubs. Starting lineups look like this. J-Mo, it's great to have Mike Meadows back in the starting lineup, often injured for the Pilots.
You're absolutely right, because he brings that composure. He runs the club. He can take a little bit of pressure off T-Rob, like we've talked about, and he's really good tempo guy.
Kelly Leaupepe, will he complement Shelton or what?
Oh my gosh, tough matchup. You know, can shoot the three. He plays the 4 spot. He's super strong, can take you off the bounce, and just a really great athlete.
All right, time to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Brenna Green. Brenna, what do you got?
Mo Woods unavailable tonight for this Portland Pilots club, but as you guys mentioned, some good injury news. Mike Meadows back for the first time since December 10th. He has only played in 3 games so far this season due to a groin injury. Last year he had a back injury that kept him out the last month of the season, so this has just been a super frustrating series of events for him. As Shante Lagan said, he did everything to make sure he was strong and ready to go for this year to avoid a situation like last year. However, some good news on the strength front. Lagan said Meadows flexed about 15 times in practice on Tuesday, and that's how he lets his coach know he's ready to go. So hopefully we see some more flexes tonight.
I love that, Brenna. I love it. And if you want to flex, you go right ahead, my friend. I love that. All right, there's a good shot of Mike. Great to have him back. We're ready to tip. LMU coming in at 10-4 after a great non-conference campaign. The Pilots at 8-7, and again, J-Mo, conference opener for both clubs.
Yeah, really important game to kind of set that tone for conference play. And, you know, every team's dealing with injuries and this and that. It's who's going to play best and bring their best game every night.
All right, opening tip won by LMU. Leah Pepe, known for that spin move, double team quickly, quick hands by Applewhite, getting another start. He was terrific in his last outing.
He's really brought, you know, athleticism, can do a lot off the bounce. Nice little turnaround jumper by Leah Pepe right there. Step back, up and in, 2-0 LMU, and he got deep, J-Mo. And the block is going to go against Leah Pepe as T-Rob took it right to him. Well, we expected this matchup right off the bat. T-Rob and Leah Pepe, high school teammates, and really, I mean, 2 strong players, and that's a big foul so early in the game. 30 seconds into this thing, you know, LMU cannot afford him on the bench early. All right, former teammates, but they showed some love before the game, didn't they? Oh, big bear hug. The Aussies showing the love. There's a step back, short there, good board. Graham getting his 4th start of the year, and Shelton, they want to run, does LMU. And Shelton is so good in transition. Really good decision right there, didn't have an advantage, and that's where his game has really grown. It's just maturity, smart with the ball, and really can flat out score. Here's Shelton with the pick. Love that pass. Leah Pepe drills it, and that's Shelton finding the open guy. Really creating that shot. You know, you gotta really respect him coming off that on-ball defense, all the way shifted all the way. Great shot for the open 3. 5 points now for Leah Pepe. He gives you 14 a pop. Fast start, 5-0 LMU. Here's T-Rob, the drive. Wild shot off the glass. Ball is loose. Big V with the offensive board. Well, and that's what Portland needs from Vucinic, is getting to the glass, both sides of the ball. 1 on the shot clock. Mike's got to force it, and cans, and welcome back, Mike. Well, that's what he's so good at, creating off the bounce. Big rise and a nice little look there. Nice job by Vucinic to keep that ball tipped to his teammate. 5-2 on the quick shot by LMU. Oh, that matchup's going to be fun, J-Mo. You can see T-Rob really trying to body it up a little bit to get that second quick foul. Smart. Wow, and no foul there, tons of contact, but T-Rob is able to take one to the face and score. Great job of just backing him down a little bit. Aussie buddies going back and forth, 5-4, Lions with the lead. Great crowd on hand. We're gonna bring the new year in right. Graham, kind roll wasn't there. 3 different white jerseys skying for that rebound, J-Mo. Well, you said rebounding's gonna be huge. It is huge, and that one and done mentality that Coach Lagan's talked about. Nice little lob there for Vucinic. You can see how handsy it is right now, very physical. Called him for a walk. That's good defense by Graham, again, who's only making his 4th start as head coach Stan Johnson, mixing up the starting lineup a little bit for LMU. Yeah, you know, he's got so much depth, just like the Portland squad. Both teams really play 9-10 people, and he's lit in different lineups because of matchup situations. How much will the Pilots, I'm stating the obvious, miss Mo Wood? Well, a lot. I mean, he just does a lot of things for this ball club on both ends of the floor. He can obviously score the basketball, but he defends, he rebounds, and he's so long. You know, they're going to miss him, and hopefully they get him back here pretty quick. Vucinic, again, some contact. They're letting him play. 1 and done. Here comes Shelton. So quick to the cup.
Wow!
Well, that's the thing. He's got a head of steam going to the rim. You've got to put a body and make him slow it up or go another direction. Just so good in the open court.
Shelton gives you 19 a pop. He is all over the stat sheet in terms of WCC offensive numbers.
I mean, shooting almost 50% from the field.
Wraparound pass. Big V didn't quite make that extra step to get it from T-Rob. A little blind on that pass as Johnson will go to his lineup or to his bench, and Anderson, a usual starter, checks in.
Well, you know, you mentioned the whole thing about Moses Wood not being in the lineup. Other people are going to have to step up. You know, it's going to be kind of committee. You got to, you know, pick up pieces that Mo Wood gave you every night.
Applewhite had that career-high 20 last time out in that loss against Riverside. You're not asking him for 20, but, you know, those are the kind of guys that have got to chip in.
Well, I think he could be a big factor in this game, too, because he can match up athletically with these guys.
Justin Arns into the LMU lineup as well as Leah Pepe misses the three. 9-4 LMU with the lead. Fast start to this game for the Lions.
Well, you can kind of see that they're trying to take away the transition game of Portland because they're not really crashing the offensive glass too hard.
Naduka on the floor, as is Wyatt Lowell. Both teams going to their benches. Unlucky for Naduka there, rimming out, and here comes Anderson.
That's a nice little look for him.
Good D by Meadow to cut off that drive. Arns, the transfer from Ohio State, brings so much experience and NCAA experience to boot. 10 on the shot clock coming up. Spin, Shelton dumps it inside, double team, stripped. Good defense, 7 on the shot clock for LMU.
Good hands by Applewhite right there, trying to come in and knock it off his leg, and Leah Pepe just super strong.
Lamage Lewis on the floor for LMU. You know, this is a little bit of a UP drought that they've got to fix, but when we come back, LMU will have the ball underneath their own goal, 7 on the shot clock, looking to increase their lead. Come on back. .17 left to go in the first half. The visiting LMU Lions leading Portland 9-4. And again, no Moses Wood with that foot injury for the Pilots. Second in scoring, first in rebounds, first in three-pointers made. 32 minutes per J-Mo. That's a lot of offensive efficiency coming off the floor.
It really is. And really the rebounding category, I think, is even more important because right now, you know, they're undersized. And again, I talked about it's got to be by committee. Guys coming in off the bench really they don't have to come in and do 20. They have to come in and be solid.
3 on the shot clock. Whistle off the shot.
I think they got Wyatt for a push underneath.
Yeah, they did. Yep. So tangled up with Leah Pepe, his first, team's first.
Unfortunate there because late shot clock, contested shot.
Rebound was going to go to the Pilots instead.
Good hands by Chica.
Big mitts of Chica. You know, boy, could they use a spark. Undersized, that's Chica, but the grit that he can bring to change games.
You're absolutely right, just the way he plays. Good hands.
Great hands, and that foul is going to go against Lewis. So Lewis picks up his first, team second, and this will be a chance for the Pilots in this physical game to end a bit of a drought.
Really need to have a great offensive set here. Execute, get side top side movement. Nice job again getting his hands in there, getting that steal and drawing the foul.
Gorosito on the court for the first time, the dynamic freshman guard out of Argentina. Perhaps with his handles can free T-Rob up a little bit more to get some shots.
Oh, good idea. The slip was there, just the pass not executed. But yeah, going back to Wanzi right there, I mean, he's got to come in, give Mike a little bit of break here and there because obviously he hasn't been playing. And you're right, takes T-Rob out of that point guard spot.
9-4, Pilots looking to end a 3-minute plus drought. Gorosito. Applewhite, transfer out of Mississippi State. Nice job.
He's so athletic, he's quick off the bounce. Good body control on that finish.
Looked a little awkward at first, but it was a great finish.
Well, you thought he was going to go with his right hand, but he's a lefty, came back to it. Nice little kiss off the glass.
9-6, one possession lead. Arns with the jumper off the pick, nothing there. Good board by Lowell. They need him to do that. Bodies to the floor.
That
Jump
good
ball.
hustle.
Yep. Possession arrow will favor the Pilots.
Awarded to the Pilots.
Everything contested. I mean, you think, okay, Wyatt's got that rebound free and clear, and boom, before you know it, bodies are flying.
Yeah, I thought he landed kind of funny, and I think he let go of it. You can kind of take a look at it here. He kind of let go of it, so it looked like he kind of twisted his ankle, so he didn't travel.
Naduka. Applewhite. Does a great job drawing the foul. Merkvaladze got him, and Alden will go to the line for a couple.
Well, really good job of coming off this staggered on the weak side. Turns the corner, and again, he's got that explosion step. Lefty right there getting to the rim. Almost an and one for him.
Merkvaladze, normally a super sub, getting his first start of the season. That's his first, team's third. Applewhite, a 73% free throw shooter, again coming off that career high 20 against Riverside in the loss the other night.
Yeah, I really think this last 3 or 4 games, he's really kind of stepping up into a different role, obviously scoring a little bit at a higher clip and just using his athleticism, and that's exactly what Portland needs, is another person to step up.
So 9-7 in a game that started with a crazy pace offensively has slowed down. Good D, good hands by the Pilots. As Rick Asanzo will check in for LMU.
I tell you, I mean, the speed in which LMU is trying to get the ball up the court, you can see it. So far, hasn't really hurt Portland. Good transition D.
That's a great point, J-Mo, because that comes out of the playbook of LMU. Beat your opponents off the floor. Nice job by Arns in that little mid-range jumper, and Shelton found him.
Yeah, too easy right there. That's a free throw line jumper.
I like this LMU club. You know, they were picked to finish 9th. You know, they lose Eli Scott, who did everything for them, and yet they bring in some transfers. A guy like Shelton has reinvented himself. It's his team now. Stan Johnson doing a great job for LMU.
You're absolutely right, and you know, you talk about Shelton. He worked so hard in the offseason, developing a little bit more on his shot, you know, really kind of taking it to heart, getting better, and nice follow.
Applewhite following his own miss and getting the tip. Big bucket for the Pilots. 5 points now for Applewhite.
They love that pick and roll series.
Nice floater by Anderson.
Really nice.
Robertson looking to slip it. Nobody there. And there's the pick here. Shelton trying to race everybody down the floor. and does.
Well, Applewhite almost had a hand on that. Good hustle, but again, Cam Shelton in the open court, you're going to have a hard time stopping him.
All right, so that's a layup, but you were going into what Shelton did in the offseason, even tweaked his shot a little bit.
Tweaked his shot, really, I mean, worked on his mental game.
Wow.
Nice fall.
Gorosito with the answer. 23 of his 28 field goals are triples, but then LMU comes and answers.
I mean, within seconds, you can't take a breath.
Nope.
You've got to be ready to transition back on D. Too easy.
Even on makes, you better get back. You better not admire anything. LMU was cold, but not lately. Hitting 4 of their last 4 and leading by 6. Sholin back rim and off. Big board and skying is Shelton. Whoa.
Again, bodies flying all over the place.
And listen, Shelton at 6'2", which means he's about 6'1" plus.
Yeah.
That guy can rebound.
I really like his game. I mean, like you said, he's only 6'2", but like you look at his body, super strong, he's smart, super fast, quick explosion step.
Applewhite picks up that foul, by the way, his first, team's second.
I mean, he was all Big Sky when he was at Northern Arizona, and he really has just taken over this ball club and really bought into what coach is trying to do as a program.
Great point. 18-12, inside look, big block by Big V, and it looked like Asanza had a clear path to the basket. No way, we're going the other way.
And that's what he's got to give him.
Meadows back in, Jack Perry in. Mike hesitating. Tough shot for Mike. Whoa!
Well, that mid-range fadeaway, he's so good at it. He's got 4 points on the night.
Defense turns into offense. Sholin gets nicked for that foul. His first, team's third. 18-14, LMU with the lead. And again, defense turning into offense. There's the block by Big V on the other end. Look at Mike. Oh, I'm going to step over you, Asanza. There's a good look at Shante Leggins. I still want to put a GPS monitor on this guy. Second year for the Pilots, never sits down. His energy level is epic. But it's the kind of energy, J-Mo, that the guys feed off. It's nothing for show. It's who he is, and, man, they feed off of it.
They sure do, and that's the kind of guy that you want to follow, that energy. He has passion. He believes in these guys. You talk to the players, you know, in certain situations off the court, and they just love him because he's genuine.
That's the word. All right. 11:27 left to go in this first half. 18-14, the visiting LMU Lions. They've led from the very beginning. Leah Pepe had the hot hand early, stepping into the three and drilling it is Stevens, and he leads this club in triples and triples taken. You got to close out.
You cannot let him have an open three. Dynamic freshman that is just a sniper from the three-point line.
Gorosito takes the pick. There's the roll. Big V wants it inside. Single coverage, but it's a tough assignment. Can't get the kind roll. Merkviladze with the board.
Decent patience right there. He's just got to hit that.
Well, Kelly knew the second it left his hand that that triple was going down. He's got 8 points, and it's a 10-point LMU lead.
Well, right now they're having a difficult job of defending the on-ball. Last time, not the three, but the last time they ended up switching, and they have a mismatch with Wanzi down in the paint. This time he picks and pops, and he has a wide open three. They got to communicate a little bit more. You do not want to let him get going. Obviously, he's got 8 points already in this half.
Well, Leah Pepe is a 45% shooter from beyond the arc.
And you saw that just little miscommunication. Wanzi goes over the screen right there, and Big V doesn't step back and guard him.
So 6-0 LMU run. They have been sizzling white hot from the floor, hitting 6 of their last 7, hence the 10-point lead.
And we looked at the timeout, there were 7 fast break points to 0 for Portland, and it's not off necessarily turnovers. They only have 3 turnovers in the game, but it's made baskets. It's the pace in which they play. They're trying to get this ball up with 1 pass to the three-point line, and off they go.
The Portland Pilots, you scout this club and you know they're going to take a lot of threes, make a lot of threes. So far tonight, they have not taken a whole lot of them, that's for sure. And when you take Wood out of the lineup, that's a big reason why. Inside, you'll take that every time. Maybe Sholin will get unlocked now.
Well, that was smart to kind of get him offensively going a little bit, involved. Oh,
wow.
Big shot right there.
And there's the answer, a triple. So Anderson with a quick answer, coming off the bench tonight, not bothered at all by that. 27-16. Defense has got to step up for the Pilots.
Well, right now the pressure defensively from LMU has just really extended Portland so far out. That's why they're trying to go inside.
Another wide open three. My goodness, this time it's Quan Marble. Everybody getting into the act for LMU from beyond the arc.
Well, miscommunications, not closing out, high hand. Got to make him put it on the ground.
6 of 10 from three-point land is LMU, and the charge is going to go against Sholin. If I'm not mistaken, that is his 2nd foul, team's 4th, and that's big in the bad news department for the Pilots.
Well, you can see him coming off this screen here by Vucinic. He lowers his shoulder and kind of extends with his arm, so good call by the official. LMU on a 12-2 run in the last minute and a half.
LMU averages just under 10 made threes a game, and they're nearing that and will return the favor good defensive-wise. T-Rob, one of the best at drawing the charges, did just that.
He's just so darn smart on both ends of the floor.
So Anderson picks up his first, team's 4th. The Pilots needed that. Let's see if something can spark this club. T-Rob wants it right back. Great cut! And 1. Yeah, you see T-Rob kind of shrug his shoulders a little bit. I'm getting into it.
Little shimmy there. I was just going to say they need to get him involved offensively. Good job of making the cut to the rim, body control, and a finish.
That shows the smarts of the veteran Robertson. When he gives up that ball, didn't hesitate a second, cutting, knowing he had the edge.
Well, and right now you can see the pressure extending Portland's offense. They're not getting an opportunity to score from the three-point line.
Yep.
Look at the transition offense.
At the rim, immediately off the make, and there's Marble getting it home. He's got 5, normally averages 2 points a pop. The transfer out of Wyoming, great production off the bench for LMU. Leah Pepe just too strong. Here comes LMU. The carry, a break for the Pilots.
Good call. You don't see that call a lot, but that was the right call.
Sholin is going to hit the bench. Remember, he's got the 2 fouls and is kind of playing with a shoulder, his right shoulder. Remember, no Moses Wood because of that foot injury. Huge blow to the Pilots as Mike Meadows, so smart coming off the pick.
Well, I'll tell you, he's just so smooth. And again, transition, you got to get back and slow that basketball. Too easy.
Yep. T-Rob steps into the 3, and he will shoot 3 as Leaupepe picks up his second.
Well, that's a big foul right there. If he stays in the game, we'll see if they sub him out. You got to go right at him because he's not going to want to pick up a quick third to go into halftime.
Last year, these two teams split game 1. LMU defeating the Pilots 70-58. 31 LMU bench points. And they out-rebound Portland as well. And then game 2, we told you about that here. T-Rob going off triple-double, 31, 11, and 11. T-Rob in that game scored 18 points before his first miss late in the first half. I want you to chew on that, folks. 18 points before his first miss, and he had help. It was an unbelievable game. Tonight, LMU saying we'll have none of that at this point.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job of taking him out of rhythm. I think he's responded in the last couple minutes of trying to get himself involved offensively, which is what Portland needs because they need him to score.
Boy, I'll say 7 points now for T-Rob. Leads this club with 15 a pop. Heady play. Mert Viladze knew he was going to lose that ball. Oh, I thought he called timeout in time. Nope, my bad. It'll be a turnover and the Pilots' ball. Big pick by Chica. And that frees up Mike, who's having a great welcome back game. 8 points now for Mike Meadows. Just 1 under his seasonal average.
Well, he's coming off that on ball and having that mid-range jumper, which is his bread and butter. And LMU's struggling right now to defend that. And if you're Portland, you got to keep going back to the well.
Double-digit deficit, now just 7. Mike had some room, loves the mid-range, cans it, he's on fire. Pilots still in this thing, come on back. Welcome back to the Chiles Center, LMU, U of P. What a battle. You know, we talked about the matchup between T-Rob and Kelly Leaupepe and Brenna Green. It's more than just a matchup on the floor. These guys go way back. Good friends, huh?
Yeah, as you guys stated, they went to high school together in Melbourne, Australia. They are both guarding each other a ton tonight, which is really interesting because Robertson a point guard for this team primarily. And of course, Leah Pepe, he plays the forward position for them. Coach Lake said one of the reasons why they have Tyler playing Kelly tonight is because of his good basketball IQ, but another is because of their background. Shante says Kelly can get a little frisky in the post and is very physical, so having someone who understands that, knows what's coming, is a big deal. Should be a fun matchup to keep tabs on, and we saw a heady play already from Robertson a few plays ago where he took it to Kelly at the three-point line. Back to you guys.
That's awesome, Brenna. Thanks. Mike a little short, the first miss of the game for Mike Meadows, and here comes Shelton. Good transition defense by the Pilots. Half court set for LMU. 32-25, Lions with the lead.
Yeah, last two defensive possessions, way more intense.
Arns looking for a cutter, nobody there, 9 on the shot clock for Shelton. He's gonna take that pick. Now he's got Wyatt to beat. Is gonna leave it, short corner, and a big stick by Lewis, the sophomore.
Well, it all started off the top with the on ball, and I got to tell you, Portland right now has just got to do a better job of defending that, whether they're going to switch or go over the top, underneath. They need to communicate a little bit faster with some urgency.
Shelton leads his club in assists and showed great patience in finding his open teammate. Another foul is going to go against LMU.
LMU fouls number 21, Michael
Graham picks up his first, team's 7th. T-Rob heading to the line. You want this guy at the free throw line, J-Mo. Remember, set a Pilot record going 22 for 24 at the charity stripe against PSU earlier this season.
He sure did. And again, he's so smart. He draws the body contact, can take the contact. An unusual miss right there.
You're right. So again, LMU has been very, very hot. They've done it at the rim and from beyond the arc. My gosh, falling down is Shelton, but finds Mert Veladze for the 3.
Well, again, Portland's defense all collapsed to that ball. It was loose. An unfortunate find there, and Shelton just doing a good job of staying with it.
7 of their last 9 are the Lions. Unbelievable. And 7 3-pointers. Good defense, and Lowell picks up the foul, his second.
Pilot fouls number 21, Wyatt Lowell, second.
Team's 5th.
Turning for Portland,
Well, you look at, going through some of the stats here at the break there, the bench right now, big for LMU, 15 points off the bench. Portland only has 3 from their bench right now. We talked about the bench having to come in and be productive with Moses Wood out with an injury.
38-25, LMU. Their largest lead was 14. They're looking at 13 right now. Somehow, some way, Sholin has got to get untracked. Keeps that dribble alive. Good hands by LMU. Chica comes up with it. Gorosito, the fake. Good board by Sholin, doing the little things. Christian just kind of muscled off of that low block. And T-Rob,
He got hurt.
Well, he's coming up grimacing as he picks up the foul. And I don't know if somebody knocked knees.
It was on the drive. You can see it here. Right here, he's going to go up. Oh, he just rolled his ankle right over the top.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a high ankle sprain right there.
Oh, and T-Rob is ginger, and he's one tough hombre.
Yep.
That is one tough cat. And he is going to gingerly, with help, go to the locker room as LMU looking to extend a 6-0 run. The Pilots' best player heading to the locker room. My goodness, remember, no Moses Wood. Catch, shoot! Wow, a chance for a 3-point play as Arns cans it. Huge play for LMU. Gorosito got him.
Yeah, Wanzi just too aggressive on that closeout right there. And again, right now, LMU, every shot is an open jumper in rhythm. They've got to make them put it on the ground and do something else.
9 triples now for LMU. Again, they average just under 10 as Arns completes the 4-point play. 42-25. Wow, what a first half for LMU, and we still have 5:10 left to go.
Yeah, they're 60% from the 3-point line. And again, it's the type of shot that they're getting.
Applewhite, aggressive drive, draws the contact. He will go to the line.
Now, if you're Portland, this is kind of a really important 5 minutes here. Down 17. You've got to close this gap just a little bit going into halftime to give yourself a chance to kind of regroup. You know, who knows what will happen with T-Rob, whether he'll be back in the second half or not. But you've got to give him a chance just to regroup and get themselves situated.
Graham picks up his second as Applewhite, the sophomore out of Mississippi State, again coming off that career high against Riverside. Can't put a dent in the 10-0 LMU run.
Well, this is the time where the clock has stopped at the free throw line. You've got to take advantage. Right now, Portland just 4 of 8, 50% from the line.
LMU has only shot the one free throw. That was Arns to complete the 4-point play. And where you want to get well if you're struggling is at the line. Portland not taking advantage of the tosses. Biggest lead of the game. Arns the lefty. Applewhite off the back rim, and he'll carry.
And Portland fortunate there, a little lock and trail defensively.
Great hustle play by St. Pierre, who has just entered the lineup and hits the deck. So the Pilots will keep the ball.
Yeah, the LMU player was out of bounds right there, so it'll stay here with Portland.
So if you're Stan Johnson, you have the luxury of keeping Leaupepe on the bench with those 2 fouls, J-Mo, because T-Rob's not in, and look at the lead for LMU without your best guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're moving the ball so well, getting great looks at the three-point line. I mean, there's no reason to bring him in and you know, risk it.
Shelton not on the floor either. Lewis, aggressive, drawing the foul. He'll shoot a pair. St. Pierre with this first foul.
Yeah, St. Pierre just a little bit late on that defensive slide over. Got himself out of position and obviously picks up the quick foul.
Team 7th, and Lewis, the sophomore out of California, will try and extend the lead as Portland has gone ice cold from the floor. Lewis, only a 29% free throw shooter. Misses the first one. And J-Mo, I love your take on how critical the last 5 minutes were going to be of this first half. Well, right now we've got 4:15 left. The Pilots need a run.
Well, they do, and right now they're just trying to do it too quick. One-on-one instead of getting some ball movement, make them play defense for a few seconds on the clock.
Lions showing some defense on that rejection. And now they're in their half-court set. No Moses Wood with the foot injury. We knew he wasn't going to play before the game even tipped off. T-Rob moments ago going to the locker room, looked like he sprained his ankle. Big blow, huge blow, as Lewis picks up his second foul. Team's 9th.
Yeah, the thing about not having Robertson in the game is just he's such a facilitator. He knows what coach wants, and he sees things on the floor before it even happens, and that's going to be a big loss for Portland if he's out.
You know, the return of Mike Meadows giving this club such a lift, but no one has been able to follow suit except for T-Rob, and right now he's in the locker room. LMU coasting. good look at Stan Johnson in his third year with LMU. His first year was really historical. They stumbled a little bit last year, you know, and he'll say, hey, listen, we're all about accountability. We're all about getting better and doing this thing together. This is my kind of team, my kind of guys. He's been terrific with this bunch this year.
He really has. Raise the standard is his theme. And, you know, he talked about Lea Pepe is the only guy now that he didn't recruit. So that's huge when you get your own guys. And, you know, it's the type of guy that he's recruiting now. He talked about the fact that these guys really did a great job in the classroom. Highest GPA they've ever had. 4 guys on the dean's list. You know, and COVID really changed a lot of the recruiting for all these college coaches. You know, now finally able to have home visits and really get to know these guys. And he's really happy with what, you know, these guys are all about so far.
Cut his teeth 5 years at Marquette, the last 3 as the associate head coach. That's big-time stuff. Stops at Arizona State, Drake, Utah, and it all started with Bemidji State. And again, great hire for LMU. Picked to finish 9th. I think they're going to have something to say about that.
Oh, I agree 100%. The style in which they play, the speed. I mean, make or miss, they're getting the ball down the floor so quick. And that's going to be hard to stop. And they've got guys that can really score. I mean, the biggest probably spot right now is just inside game. And he's got some big bodies. But, man, they're really quick in the open court.
Their motto, defend, rebound, and run. We've seen that tonight. Shelton, cagey. So that foul is going to go against the Pilots. Shelton wanted to get it on the draw, but Perry got him on the miss. That's his first. Team's 9th. So Shelton, the transfer out of NAU, 3 years, you mentioned it, J-Mo, 1,000-point kid there, 3-year starter. And as good as he was last year, with the 8 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists, his numbers have skyrocketed. Just an absolute career year for Shelton.
Well, again, it's getting used to the system, getting used to a different coach. You know, the raise the standards. I mean, it's real, and he really worked in the offseason, like we talked about earlier, and really took it to to heart. You have those offseason or end of the year conversation with coaches of how you got to get better, and he really worked, and it has paid off.
Isanza making 1 of 2, the big 7-footer transfer out of Oklahoma. Congo International, another great pickup for Stan Johnson, 41-27, 3:13 left to go in this first half. T-Rob going to the locker room with that, what looked like an ankle sprain. We'll have to get that confirmed, but hasn't come back yet to the bench. 5 on the shot clock for Gorosito. Takes the high pick. He's going to have to be clever here. Wow, keeping the ball alive. Pierre will go to the line. Nice job by Joey.
Well, great defense by LMU in the half court. Again, really pressuring the ball. I mean, Portland doesn't have a field goal in over 5 minutes right now.
Wow.
And, you look at the scoreboard, and that's, an indication right there. They've got to get some flow going. Too much just dribble, pass it off. And there's really not a lot of sets being run. And really small lineup, to tell you the truth, right now.
St. Pierre, the only big body out there for the Pilots. He misses his first one, hasn't shot a lot of free throws coming into that toss, 7 for 10. But this is a Pilot club when they've got everything going and everybody healthy, J-Mo, averages some 79 points a game. Right now we're looking at 27 with 2:50 left to go in the first half. Their best scorers, though, not on the floor for the Pilots.
Yeah, and they're really good when they're able to shoot the basketball freely from the three-point line, and they have not had opportunities to score.
Offensive foul against LMU, and free throws are killing the Pilots' attempt to get back into this thing.
6 of 13 from the free throw line right now, and they've only attempted 5 three-point shots in the half. A lot of times we see Robertson, Woods taking 5 by themselves. So I think LMU's game plan of making them do something else and putting it on the ground has been very successful.
This is a Pilot club that averages 10 makes a game from beyond the arc, 26 attempts. And to your point, J-Mo, as the hook is going to go against Vucinic, his first. Teams trading offensive fouls. And again, it's the Portland drought in terms of field goals, and then not able to get better at the free throw line, to get well, killing them at this point.
Well, they've done a decent job in the last few minutes of holding LMU, but they just haven't capitalized on the offensive end.
That's great D inside, especially by Sholin. Applewhite coming over to help. Gorosito flags down that log pass. Sholin steps into the three and cans it.
And that's where they're really good, is getting out and going. And great extra pass by Wanzi. That's their first field goal in 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wow, that's an unheard of drought. And the answer, and Arns looks over at the UP bench, and Justin is having himself quite a game.
Oh, yeah.
Arns with 12 points now, his 5th double-figure game of the season and his first in a month.
Well, he's just getting extreme looks, 3 of 5 from the three-point line.
Dump it inside! And the big 7-footer Asanza slams it home.
Coach is really upset with him for hanging on the rim. I think they're going to get him for a technical on the...
Yep.
Really unnecessary, like he said. I mean, nobody underneath him. Just got to let go right there.
Yeah. That last part was unnecessary, and Stan's smart enough to let the transfer know, nah, buddy, you're too good for that. So Mike toes the line. A much-needed free throw from Meadows. Missing all those games, J-Mo, with that groin injury. One of UP's better free throw shooters. You like him at the line if T-Rob can't be there.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, again, he just brings a calmness to the floor. Transferred from Eastern with Coach Legs, understands the system, understands what he's trying to get. And he's just really a great guy. I mean, we have a ton of fun with him. I mean, great personality.
Yep. and having him on the floor is invaluable. And now more than ever, with T-Rob and Wood on the bench with injuries. Mike looking for a cutter. Plenty of time on that shot clock. Applewhite cut off. Skip pass almost picked off. Sholin stepping back. Asanza with the big block. Shelton wants to run.
Good transition D right there by Portland, not giving up that three.
Pilots need a stop in the half court. What a first half performance by this LMU club. It's 46-31. 33 seconds left to go in the half. 7 on the shot clock for Shelton. Spins into trouble. Good help by Big V. Arns, can he do it again? Short there. Asanza can't get it home. And the ball belongs to the Pilots.
Well, Gorosito very lucky he didn't give up that three, because he lost Arns from the three-point line, and I think Shante might have come unglued if that would have happened right there.
Arns with a terrific first half. 12 points for Arns. He averages 7. All right. 15 left to go in the half. Pilots could really use a bucket. Now 10. Game clock off. Shot clock. Other way around. Yep, but we'll take Applewhite and that stick. Shot clock off, game clock favoring Applewhite. 46-33. J-Mo, your take on the first half?
Well, I thought defensively they did Portland did a better job. It just gave up way too many open looks from the three-point line. And it's really an offensive issue. They have no flow. They don't have people stepping up. We talked about people from the bench having to come in and contribute by committee. And right now, really struggling on the offensive end.
2 field goals in the final 8 minutes for the Pilots, and that leads to a 13-point LMU lead. But as any good coach will tell you, J-Mo, you're one of the best, and Brenna's standing by with Shante. 13 points is doable. What do you got, Brenna, Shante?
Coach Liggins, let's start with the obvious here. If T-Rob is out of this game, what does that mean in terms of how you guys play this second half?
You know, guys got to regroup. We got to be ready. Next guy up. I mean, you know, we're going to play hard. We got to be smart. We go out here and do the right things. We'll win the game with or without T-Rob. It hurts our team. He's our leader. But you guys got to be ready for the next guy up.
LMU shooting 56% from three. What do you guys need to change in terms of your three-point defense in the second half?
We need to crowd shooters a little bit better. You know, we're letting their shooters get off and get some open looks. We got to do a better job of finding and locating guys in transition. They have 2 or 3 in transition, and then we've lost a couple guys off staggers, so we got to do better there.
Thanks so much, Coach Lakes. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Legs. Thanks, Brenna. Sizzling from the floor, LMU, especially from beyond the arc. It's a 13-point lead for the visiting Lions. 46-33. We're at the half. Banged up Portland Pilots. Do they have an epic comeback in them? We'll soon find out. Time to adjust in the locker room.
This is Maria. Maria banks with CCCU. She has a first-time homebuyer savings account and a dog named Dave. She plays pickup soccer. She's about to get a mortgage and loves listening to music. She's just the kind of member that can take advantage of everything CCCU has to offer.
And I just like what credit unions stand for.
From customer to customized. Bank locally, live simply. With CCCU.
What is our way? Our way is unrelenting, imposing as the mountaintops to our east, strong as the ocean to our west. Our way is forward, challenged by past achievement, expecting future success. Our way is committed, devoted, passionate. Our way fuels us to be different, to be inspired, to have faith in each other. What is our way? Our way is West.
Some people might call it a job. I call it a mission. Helping people get back on their way. When you're a roadside technician for AAA, every day is different. We're always ready to be there for you when your call comes in. I love seeing that smile on a member's face when you get them rolling again. It makes you feel good. At the end of the day, it's all about helping people. That's what keeps me going.
Even when I was little, just growing up, I knew I wanted to play in college. I've kind of always just wanted to go here, so I'd come out to the games and like sit in the stands and see them, and like I genuinely believed that I could be one of them.
Being on the court felt like nothing else mattered. I just thought it was fun.
I've always been not the most athletic, not the tallest, not the skinniest.
I know what it's like to feel like you can't do it, but you really can.
I play to prove others wrong.
I find purpose in making the people who supported me proud.
Trust that all the hard work you've put in is going to pay off. Go out there and try to prove each and every person wrong that's ever doubted you.
Running a race is one of the most physically and mentally challenging things, but crossing that finish line, that feeling just can't be matched.
Competing feels like I'm on top of the world.
All it takes is one conversation.
I'm just proud of their team performance.
All it takes is one opportunity to be successful.
Pick 10, they're in the championship round. Like, what can you tell me? I mean, what a celebration to have.
Being in the stands as a little girl and now being on the court, being able to represent myself and the game and University of Portland.
I used to see myself as just a basketball player. Now I see myself as a role model.
Here's to the next gen.
Good crowd at the Chiles Center, WCC opener for the Portland Pilots and visiting LMU Lions. First half, all LMU, Jennifer Mountain. An impressive first half for the visiting Lions.
They came out just red hot from the three-point line, 9 of 17 for 52.9%. And again, it's the quality of three-point shot that they're getting. I think Portland really struggled at the offensive end, and just the speed of the game right now is in favor of LMU.
Injury situation really hurting, literally and figuratively, the Portland Pilots. We knew Moses Wood wasn't going to go because of that injured foot. You take a ton of offensive power and rebounding out of the lineup. But then when T-Rob, this club's heart and soul, goes down, in the first half with about 13 minutes left to go with that ankle sprain. Whether he comes back or not, we still don't know, but that was a huge blow.
Huge blow, and you know, as a coach, you got to go back into the locker room, regroup these guys. Next man up, as Coach Legan said. We talked about, you know, guys having to step up, you know, from the bench, and right now just really struggling. They're getting outscored on the bench 26-3, and we talked about guys scoring in the paint. They did a decent job, but it's the guards right now, and really right now I think the post players really for Portland need to step up.
Well, one of the guys who has stepped up is Mike Meadows. You know, he's missed so many games because of injuries. Got the start, the nod tonight. He's been terrific.
He really has, and again, it's that calm factor. He's very poised, 4 of 6 from the field, does a nice job of getting off the bounce, and there's that mid-range game that he is so good at. Does just a nice job of creating the space and then elevating over people.
Meadows with the 9 points along with Applewhite, even gets it up and over the 7-footer Isanza. He has been so good but hasn't had a lot of help besides Applewhite, but Mike has been dependable as you would expect.
Yeah, and you'd hope you see, you know, they come back and regroup this second half, get a little bit more flow, and he's going to be a key to that, of getting people involved offensively and running the show. And a nice job right there of coming off that pick and roll. He had a couple, 2-3 possessions where he came off the pick and roll and had a lot of success. I would think that they would go back to that at the beginning of this second half.
High volume of minutes, though, missing all those games. It's going to be hard to ask him to play 30-plus minutes. All right. Stats, what jumps out at you, partner?
Well, it's the three-point line.
Yep.
I mean, you look at that, they've got 9 threes already made, and we talked about the fact that Portland is so good when they're shooting well from the three-point line, only 2 of 6, and just haven't had the opportunity. And I think it's the pressure defensively from LMU that's created that, and just Portland hasn't responded to the pressure.
Leah Pepe has had a couple of triples, but really hurting the Pilots is Justin Arns off the bench with 3 triples, including that 4-point play on one of the made threes. He's been terrific off the bench, and you mentioned how LMU has gone to town with point production from their reserves.
Yeah, you look at that 26-3, and that's a huge discrepancy. And you really, if you're Portland, you know, you got Leah Pepe, who was out with foul trouble, had a quick 8 points, and really Shelton's only got 6 points, but right now it's everybody else that's come in, and they haven't done a good job of locating shooters in transition and in the half court.
So 46-33, LMU leading the banged-up Portland Pilots. We'll see what kind of adjustments Coach Legs has been able to make in the locker room. Maybe the Pilots can get off to a fast start to start the second half. We'll see. Come on back. Second half moments away from starting here at the Chiles Center. The visiting LMU Lions leading Portland 46-33. WCC opener for both clubs. Brenna Green caught up with LMU head coach Stan Johnson moments ago. Brenna?
Yeah, I asked him, what do you even say to a team that shot 56% from three to improve anything they need to improve upon in this second half? He said, well, first of all, I thought we fouled too much. 14 free throws was just too many to give this Portland Pilots team. And he also felt like they had careless turnovers in the first half when they were about to really go on big runs, and that stopped them from widening this lead anymore. So those are two areas he really wants his team to improve upon in the second half. Back to you guys.
Brenna, appreciate it. Second half underway. You know, J-Mo, you've coached at the highest level. You got to come up with something, don't you, to tell your team?
Absolutely. You know, he made a good point, though. They did have a couple kind of sloppy, careless turnovers. And granted, it probably didn't hurt him right now, but that's the kind of stuff that you want to clean up so that down the road you just don't have those issues.
Leah Pepe puts the ball on the deck and quickly goes right into the chest of Vucinic. Vucinic picks up his second, so that'll be the first team foul, but Big V's second personal. Leah Pepe, the senior out of Australia, had the hot start to this game. Averages 14 points a pop, leads this club with the 7 boards and loves to hammer the offensive boards. A good free throw shooter, but not on those attempts.
Well, you know, you talk about the offensive boards and really didn't do a whole lot of damage. They only have 1 offensive board in the whole game at this point.
Travel, Sholin. The whistle blew, and quickly LMU said, oh, that can't be on Leila Pepe. It'd be his third, but it was a travel against Sholin, so we'll head the other way. There's the high pick from Leila Pepe. Shelton loses it. It'll belong to the Pilots.
Well, a sloppy start by both squads so far, and if you're Portland right now, you're down 13. You need to chip away and get great offensive possessions here. Get some top-side movement, get some screening action, get some people involved. You know, you'd like to see Sholin. There's a great cut right there. Oh, my goodness.
That kind of night as Sholin blows the dunk, and here comes LMU. It was a great look from Jack. Sholin had a wide-open slam, missed it. Shelton cans the 3.
Well, that's a big 5-point swing right there. Missed dunk to a 3-point shot for LMU, and gosh, it just takes the sails out of them.
Back rimming off. Stevens wants to run. You're so spot on with the 5-point swing.
Yeah, you make that dunk, you get this crowd involved.
You bet.
You know, cut it to 11 instead. You miss it and you give up a 3 at the other end.
Another 3. Mert Veladze. So 6 points for him, but a quick timeout because Legs does not like the way this second half has started. 52-33. The missed dunk by the Pilots turning into points on the other end for LMU, and they extend the advantage. It's a big one early in the second half. Yeah. The boot worn by T-Rob. Oh, J-Mo, he ain't coming back today.
He might not be coming back for a couple of weeks with that high. I mean, you could see, you know, his ankle kind of went over the top, and that usually indicates a high ankle sprain. But I'm no doctor, but you never know. He's a tough character, so they'll get him going rehab-wise, and hopefully it responds pretty well because they really need him.
Heart and soul of this club, leads this team with 15 points a game, second in rebounds, leads in assists. One of the nation's leader, if not number one in assists per, and I mean, it's just a huge loss. What a block by Graham. LMU's bench, all of them are up. Big stick by Big V, and boy, did the Pilots need that. First points of the game for Vucinic.
And that's what they need. They need some inside presence.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Looked like it tipped off an LMU player. The call is the call is reversed. Everybody, all right, we got you.
You know, everybody's human. Make mistake here and there. Just pointed the wrong way. Chica was letting him have it, though.
Well, Legs was about ready to come unglued as well. All right. So order is restored. 52-35, a ton of time left to go in this game if the Pilots can get a run going.
Well, and the thing is they have the ability to get a run going with the kind of shooters that they do have.
Perry, 10 on the shot clock. Applewhite trying to shake the defender, Stevens. Ball is loose. And there's a break for the Pilots. Wyatt Lowell will check in. Vucinic will have a seat.
Yeah, he was grimacing about something. Unfortunate turnover.
And quickly Lowell picks up that foul. His third. As Shelton goes down and holds his face, 2 team fouls now on the Pilots.
Well, Lowell, every time he's come in, I feel like he's picked up a quick one. Just maybe being a little bit too aggressive, not in the flow.
Love the footwork. Merk Veladze.
Great balance. He's got 8 points on the night.
That's over his seasonal average of 6.5. Mike comes back, front rim and off, and here comes you-know-who. Shelton, eyes up, looking to drive, or a cutter. Graham looking for some help. Instead, Pilots with the pick. Portland desperately needing a bucket. Lowell had some space, J-Mo. A little tentative letting it go, and it was short.
Yeah, you know, he's only been in for, what, a minute? It's hard to get yourself in rhythm, but that's a great look for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he mishand, you know, he broke his finger not that long ago or dislocated his finger. Just kind of didn't handle that ball very well.
Nothing there on the spin. Shelton quickly drive, kick. Good closeout defense by the Pilots. Blown layup on the other end by Applewhite. J-Mo, the Pilots hurting the cause, blowing some wide open looks.
Well, you have to capitalize on the opportunities that you have. Down 19. You got 15:40 to go. I mean, you've got to chip away, and, you know, those are going to be opportunities that you really got to capitalize on, like I said.
Good board by Jack, skying over everybody. Another drought for the Pilots. They had a 5.5 minute plus drought earlier in the first half. That didn't help the cause. And a huge stick this time by Lowell, known for his three-point shooting.
Well, the difference between that shot and the last shot, in rhythm, on balance, and ready to shoot it. You know, I think he kind of hesitated on that last one, and you're right, he has the range. He's had, you know, games where he's had great nights from the three-point line.
Leah Pepe.
And LMU just, again, a little bit frantic, turning the ball over. Portland gets some deflections on the ball defensively. Again, they got to capitalize on it at the other end.
So Lowell picks up his 4th foul as he tries to go after that loose ball. Moments before the 4th foul, it's Wyatt with the big 3, but now he is in foul trouble. Here at the Chiles Center, the Pilots trailing LMU 54-38. No Moses Wood out with that foot injury. And then in the first half, the heart and soul leader, the real glue guy of this Pilot club, Tyler Robertson, going down with the ankle injury. He's in a boot.
Well, and you take a look at Applewhite right there, and he's somebody that, you know, they're going to lean on here to step up. We've seen in the last 4 games, production-wise, going up. Again, his athleticism, his ability to get to the rim. He can rebound, good from the free throw line. He's got to be somebody that they look to, especially in the last 15 minutes of this game, to get into more of a little bit of a rhythm with some different rotations.
Applewhite's been really good as of late, starting for the 2nd straight time. And it's time for the Pilots to keep the defense going and to make a move. Leah Pepe! Another flush. Asanza doesn't hang on the rim that time.
Well, he's got a great athletic body, obviously 7'2", with the ability and just a great job of setting him up right there.
Terrific read by Leah Pepe to find the flashing Asanza, the transfer out of Oklahoma. Sholin flips it over at Leah Pepe and scores. Christian with 7 now.
Yeah, the thing about LMU is they've taken away the three-point line, the open looks that Christian normally gets.
All the way to the rim and finishing. Well done is Anderson. You can't let LMU answer when you score, J-Mo.
No, I mean, you've got to get stops. You've got to put stops and scores together. Again, Mike coming off that on ball right there, creating. They've had some success with it.
So Arns picks up the foul, his first. And reading the screens as well as anybody tonight is Mike Meadows.
Absolutely, and again, he just has that mid-range game, the ability to elevate. And sending him to the free throw line is a good thing for Portland.
Although free throws have not been the friend of the Portland Pilots. Meadows gets the first one down. You know, this is a Portland team that comes into tonight's action 2nd in the WCC in free throw percentage, but they have been cold from the charity stripe.
Yeah, it's just been kind of one of those nights. 11 points on the night for Meadows, and a great welcome back, that's for sure.
Third double-figure game of the season for Mike, who's missed so many games with that groin injury, and he is giving the Pilots some reason to believe if they can have some stops. Oh my, Essanza wanted that dunk, didn't really have the angle. Arns missing, look at Essanza willing that offensive rebound. Essanza really showing us something. Applewhite with the second. Sorry, J-Mo.
No, you know, Coach talked about how good Essanza is in pick and roll situations. You see it right there because he occupies so much space with his body, and then just great reads by the guards and the people coming off to get him easy looks.
Played high school ball in Arizona, born in the Congo. So many siblings. Recruiters love his 7-foot frame. Arns, the lefty, another triple. What a game for Arns. He's got 15 points.
And I believe that ties his career high at this point.
He had 29 at Ohio State, but at LMU, yes. 29 his freshman year at Ohio State. Applewhite, the reverse. Essanza, the rim protector, but there's St. Pierre to mop up. Oh boy. Is LMU feeling it or what?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, that's all set up by Shelton. He's breaking people down, getting to the paint. The defense is all collapsing to the paint, and then it's a kick out for the open three.
How tough was that make and take by Mike? He's got 13. Ooh. And whenever we see Mike go down, remember with that groin injury and awkwardly running into, affectionately I say, a fire hydrant in Lea Pepe, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a big, strong guy.
Wow. All right, so all those threes for this LMU club. Again, a team that averages about 10 makes beyond the arc a game. And they're starting to pile up. Their season high in made threes, 15. They're nearing that tonight.
Right now, 11 of 21 from the three-point line, and if you're Portland, you take that away from them.
Joey St. Pierre, deep, feathery touch, 4 now for Joey.
Well, if you're Portland, you love to see that because you certainly need some paint production from your bigs, and last 2 possessions, he got the tip in and then that nice little move.
Ten on the shot clock. Anderson wheeling, dealing, the cutter's there. Graham flips it up. Jack with the rebound, and here comes Mike. Meadows doesn't have numbers. Good defense by Marble, and now the switch is there. Anderson on Mike all the way to the cup and scores. What a game for Mike Meadows.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're Portland and if you can get this to single digits, about the 8-minute mark, 8-9-minute mark, you've got a chance. And again, they have some guys that can really get it going quickly. They've just got to get stops defensively.
15 points for Meadows, 3 off his season best. His career high is 22. Mike single-handedly keeping Portland in this thing with a little help from his friends. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Anderson. Triple. Again, LMU has the answer.
Well, that's a tough shot because he's got somebody in his face. That's just a great play.
Anderson averages 9 a game. He's got 10. Let's see if the Pilots can keep pace. They've been hot as of late. Meadows short. Arns loses the handle. Fans want to travel. Here comes Anderson. Anderson wheeling and dealing and keeping that dribble alive. Arns, nice fake, draws the foul from Meadows. His first, team's 5th. So it seems like every time the Pilots make a little run, LMU has an answer.
They have responded every single time, and I feel like Portland's done a better job offensively. They just got to transition and get stops.
Lead is still 17 for those Lions. Come on back. Back at the Child Center, the Portland Pilots in the final half of this second half need one major push. Jennifer Mountain on both ends of the floor as they trail by 17.
Well, they got to put some stops together and then offensively transition quickly, get some quality shots. They don't need to force it, but if you can, again, get this to a single-digit game by the 8-minute mark, you got a chance. But it's got to be defensive stops and then efficient offense.
14 triples for LMU, one off of tying their season high. And 45%, that could be obliterated from beyond the arc for LMU. They came in shooting hot, and they have not let up.
No, and a lot of them have been contested at the same time. I feel like Portland has made it more difficult for them, but still, just really, you let somebody get going, and that's what happens.
Still a ton of time left in this game, as Jennifer said. Leah Pepe so strong. Draws the foul. Applewhite will pick up his third, team's sixth. And that's just smart by Leah Pepe. With that strength and a good first step, he's going to take anybody on.
Well, I mean, he's just a really difficult matchup because he is so strong, and he can put it on the ground and get by people.
Tyler Robertson on the bench with that ankle injury, wearing the boot, went out in the first half. Jennifer Mountain, a huge blow to the Pilots, who were playing without Moses Wood and the foot injury.
Well, you take those two out of the game, you know, and you got scorers, you got defenders, you got rebounders in those two guys. And really, Robertson, really that floor leader, he sees everything so well. Coach on the floor, that's a really hard one to take.
You know, we talked to Coach Leggs a few days ago, and he said, you know, you look at the Pilots' big three, Wood, Robertson, Sholin. He said, we've got to have two of the three really step up almost every night. Well, two of those three are injured.
Exactly. And, you know, you look at the scoreboard, and that's an indication of that right there. And, you know, hopefully you can get the two of those guys back here fairly quick. But, again, it goes, this is what happens in college basketball. People get sick.
Well, great inbounds play by LMU, a little catch and shoot, and Anderson with the gimme, 69-50. Anderson now with 12, 3 over his seasonal average. Applewhite took a hit. Don't know if he was a little banged up or just needs to adjust the headband as Marble picks up that foul.
Well, and again, he's had a lot of success getting to the rim tonight, drawing contact. And has been a bright spot like we talked about in the last 3 or 4 games.
Cam Shelton, who we've been so high on, has done such a great job of running this LMU team. He's now got 10 assists, and that is a new career high for Shelton. You know, we talk so much about scores, J-Mo, but a guy like Shelton who wants to get his teammates involved, that's a big number for him.
It is, and again, he's a facilitator, and he talked, you know, with Coach about his progress in the offseason, and it's showing tonight. You don't always have to score, but you have to be efficient and get your guys set up, and that's what he's done.
A quiet 9 points now for Shelton, who leads this club at 19 points a pop, but then you go down to the assist mark, and you think, oh, I can live with that, and then some. He's getting his guys involved.
And that's exactly what you want from your leader, right? I mean, you bet. If he's not scoring a ton, and he hasn't forced the issue. He hasn't needed to. He's done what his team needs to win.
69-50. 9:45 left to go in this game. A game, for the most part, dominated by LMU. Wide open look. Perry's got to take it. Front rimming off. Ball is up for grabs. Good board by Shelton, and he wants to run. Oh, the quicks on Shelton. And what a finish. Nicely done by Lewis. But that's Shelton with another assist.
Great body control on that, not picking up the charge.
Great hustle play, good hands by LMU, and again, they want to push. Leaving it. Stan Johnson's thinking too unselfish, Alex, but
let's shoot it.
Yep, to the free throw line, though, will go Lamage Lewis as Perry picks up his second.
I'll tell you, I've been really impressed with this LMU squad. They have all the pieces. They have guard play. They have nice posts. They have guys that can put it on the ground, defend. God, they're good in the open court, and they really have just outplayed Portland at this point.
17 fouls now going against the Pilots. You know, you talk to Coach Stan, and he basically says, hey, we're going to defend, rebound, and run. We're going to shrink that floor. We're going to create that kind of ball pressure that makes you really, really uncomfortable and make shots tough to come by.
And they have done that tonight, right from the get-go.
They have.
I felt like they set the tone. Portland really struggled from the perimeter of getting opportunities to score because of their pressure defense.
Right away, it was 5-0 LMU. Pilots cut it to 1, and then they later on cut it to 2 a couple of times. But LMU, it just seemed like in control from the very beginning. Another run, 9-0 LMU run. But man, Mike Meadows to the rescue, or what?
Yeah, he's been very impressive. You know, there's no hesitation, which you love to see with somebody coming back from an injury. Again, explosion step and just hangs in the air, draws a contact.
Lea Pepe now with 4. And you know, Meadows knows that Kelly has slid over to play help, and he knows there's going to be contact, and he's given up about 50 pounds to Kelly and still just went right at the rim.
Yeah, no fear factor there.
Yep. What a great game by Mike Meadows, coming into this contest having missed 9 of the last 10 games with that groin injury that just wouldn't heal. He thought he was back, then re-injured it against New Orleans, had to sit again, and here he is having a spectacular game for the Pilots.
Well, he's been chomping at the bit to get back, and you know, like Brenna said in the beginning, all the flexes in practice yesterday, I think he was really excited to get back on the floor. We got an offensive foul.
Wow. Shelton, his first. Team's 5th, but only Shelton's first. And the Pilots, again, free throw woes. 9 of 18 from the charity stripe. It's just awfully hard to dig out of a hole when you're shooting like that from the free throw line, J-Mo.
It really is, and just not how they usually shoot from the three-point line. A team that does a great job of drawing fouls, and Stan talked about that. They don't want to put them at the free throw line, and so far tonight, it hasn't hurt them.
Lewis with his 3rd, team 6th. Lots of free throws now coming. So Applewhite to the line. Right now, coming into these tosses, 3 for 6. Applewhite, a 73% free throw shooter, but nobody feeling it from the charity stripe. Gets the kind bounce there, you know, and you look at Applewhite's body language where he's just thinking, gee whiz. But he's been battling.
That's what you need. I mean, you need people stepping up, competing, getting better.
Applewhite at 10 points, though. 7th double-figure game of the season. Finding himself in a starting role as Shelton. Oh, head fake, ball fake, body fake, layup.
Yep, just a great job.
Another double-double for Shelton, 6th in his career.
And see, right now, that's just a forced 3.
Unlucky there for LMU.
Yep. And if you're Portland right now, like, the thing about it is there's 8 minutes left. It's starting to get away from you for sure, but you've got to get better tonight. You've got to get some flow. You've got to work some different rotations. They've got to compete no matter what. And right now, this is a big test for these young guys to really get it going.
11-1 LMU run. Again, Mike Meadows to the rescue. 18 points now for Mike. That ties a season high. His career high is 22. Not a lot of bright spots for the Portland Pilots, and he is the bright spot.
Yes.
Anderson, another triple. 15 three-pointers now, ties a season high for LMU. My goodness, they have put on a clinic. So Shelton picks up his 2nd. Team's 8th. LMU coming in to this game with a really impressive 10-4 non-con record. Their WCC opener, they haven't missed a beat. Boy, they've looked good. Cam Shelton as good as advertised. He's got the 11 points, but the career high 11 assists to go with the 3 steals. He has been absolutely dynamic. Brenna, I know you've been admiring his game as well. How about a hit on this guy, Cam Shelton?
Yeah, someone who actually has a unique perspective on Cam's growth as a player is Shante Legans, because he used to face off against Cam when he was at NAU and Legans was a head coach at Eastern Washington. Shante said back in those days they wouldn't guard him because he wasn't a good free throw shooter or a good three-point shooter. Those days obviously gone now. Shelton's top 5 in scoring in the conference. His now head coach Dan Johnson says one of the keys to Cam's progress this year is him wanting to shoot and not being fearful of the outcome. I can attest Cam doesn't lack confidence. When asked in a questionnaire by LMU what current or former LMU player he most enjoyed watching, he answered Cameron Shelton. And when asked who inspires you to be better, he answered very simply, me. Back to you guys.
The LMU greats, Bo Kimball, Hank Gathers, Corey Gaines. But who do you draw from? Myself, thank you very much. Thanks, Brenna, that's great.
Well, and Coach really gives him all the credit about how much work he's put in, like we've talked about it.
78-56. Again, Meadows with a terrific season high, terrific game, 20 points, 2 off of his career high. but this game well in hand for LMU. And Shelton has been, let's just, call a spade, just delightful to watch play. And his growth is really fun. Gorosito, chance for a 4-point play. Arns made a 4-point play on the 3 and the foul in the first half. Well, he commits the foul, and Gorosito's got a chance for a 4-point play.
Yeah, and coach is not going to be happy with that. You don't want to foul a 3-point shooter. Just a little bit late, got him on the way down.
So Gorosito doesn't shoot free throws very often, 5 for 5 going into tonight's game. Completes the 4-point play, 78-60, but only 7:08 left to go.
Well, they're going to apply a little pressure here to maybe go a little quicker, which is what LMU likes to do.
Before the game, we knew Mo Wood would not be playing with the foot injury, and then in the first half, T-Rob goes down with the ankle sprain. Another flush and another assist for Shelton. Cam double teams, so he finds the 7-footer Asanza.
Well, we talked about that pick and roll and how efficient he is on it, and right there, Meadows doesn't slide down for that steal down low. He's got to have a guard presence down there on that slip.
So the travel will go against LMU. Leah Pepe back onto the floor for LMU. Merk Veladze will have a seat. 80-60, 6:18 left to go in this game. A game dominated by the visiting Lions. All those points and rebounds and triples sitting on the Pilot bench due to injury as Applewhite goes flying in. Good game for Alden again. He's got the 12 points, 3 over his seasonal average.
Again, just doing a really nice job of creating off the bounce, getting himself to the rim.
Gorosito with that foul. Applewhite and Mike Meadows really trying to fill in a lot of holes.
And there's a little great job of just ball fake, a little shimmy with his shoulder. Defense took it and got himself to the got himself to the layup.
Applewhite, Meadows combining for half of the Pilots' points. Not a lot of point production down low. The 3-point shooting that usually butters the bread for the Pilots, not there either. But you take your two of your top triple guys and put them on the bench due to injury, and that's going to happen.
Well, I really credit LMU's defense because I just don't think they've had opportunities to shoot the 3. Wanzi's getting a couple here late in the game, but Sholin, that's something that he's done a really good job of all season long, and he's only really had one look at it in that transition bucket.
Mike looking for a cutter. Here's Naduka. 10 on the shot clock, not there for Gorosito. Shelton taking everybody on. Leah Pepe so strong. Whistle blows that play dead as Kelly got knocked in the noggin.
Great offensive board right there. Shelton thought he got a little contact there on that penetration.
Applewhite picks up that foul. So Leah Pepe will go to the line. Applewhite now with 4 fouls. Leah Pepe sitting on 11 points, looking for his first make free throw wise, and gets it. Perry back onto the court. God, you really feel for T-Rob, whose parents are here from Australia. They've enjoyed the holidays together in person to watch their son play, who has been so dynamic for the Pilots since following legs over from Eastern Washington, and boom, that ankle injury.
Yeah, really unfortunate. We'll see how quick he can bounce back. And like I said, one tough cookie, so.
Well, and what's next for the Pilots? Murderer's Row. After this LMU game, the Pilots go against BYU, St. Mary's on the road, USF home, and then Gonzaga on the road. Oh, man.
Tough stretch right there.
Yep.
Especially if you have those two guys out. You know, they've had some really great moments in this non-conference. The PK tournament, obviously, we've seen them have some really bright spots, and when they, like you said, when they're going in on all cylinders, they've got some really good pieces, and they're really fun to watch right now. Just really struggled both offensively and defensively, quite frankly. Gave up too many looks, easy looks.
Well, the non-conference finale for the Pilots was a concern. They lose at Riverside, and the way they lost was a concern, as Leia Pepe wanted that three-point play, but he will go to the line for two as another foul goes against Applewhite, and that's his fifth. So Applewhite will finish with the 12 points and the 5 boards. But back to that Riverside game, J-Mo, they lose that game on the road 76-65 to the Pilots. You know, they give up all those points off the turnovers, the second chance points. You know, they weren't getting as many field goals as their opponent, and you think, okay, this is a bounce back opportunity at home, but it's been all LMU. Injuries haven't helped the Pilots, but this is a game dominated by the Lions.
You're absolutely right, and you know, Coach Leggins didn't like their effort at Riverside and talked about that, and you give them, you know, a couple days break at Christmas, and you love to see them come back. Love the practices the last few days, competitive. And you're right, LMU came into this building and really took it to them, and they just didn't respond. You know, the injuries, again, don't help the situation, but they just haven't responded, I think, the way Coach Leggins would like.
Leia Pepe, fantastic game. He started so hot for LMU, really set the tone.
Yeah, first 8 points of the game.
And then everybody else got involved after that.
You know, got himself in a little bit of foul trouble.
My goodness, Mike Meadows. So 22 points, ties a career high, and that was a tough step back. What a game for Mike Meadows. You talk about banged up. He's playing a ton of minutes. And with that groin injury, you know he is going to be hurting tomorrow. And what a warrior, what a gamer. Meadows picks up that foul as he smacks Leia Pepe in the face accidentally. His second.
Well, you talked about, you know, tough shots. I mean,
wow.
I think all those fadeaways have been tough. Over 7-footers earlier. It's tough to block, though.
And you wonder, you know, the Pilots, you get Mike back, and then you think, well, you know, T-Rob's going to go down eventually in the first half. Moses Wood never even got to step foot on the floor. It's tough to get these guys healthy at the same time. Career high, baby. Career high, Mike Meadows. What a gamer, J-Mo.
Well, if we're going to talk about a bright spot, that's it right there. And I mean, he can really break somebody down, and it's just his body control is so good in the air. And he's not a super big guy.
Heck no. Takes the contact.
Not happy with his free throw opportunities tonight.
Nope. Nobody's happy with their free throw opportunities wearing Portland gear. You know, Mike dealt with that back injury last year that kept him out of the postseason and down the stretch. And this year it was the groin injury. And you see when he comes back and can play quality minutes, just how quickly he impacts this club.
You're absolutely right. And it's just a matter of keeping him healthy and on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2 games here. He's off for 4. You know, he's just got to make sure he takes care of his body.
Arns with 16 points. That's a season high for him. The transfer out of Ohio State has been terrific off the bench. Wide open. Oh, come on. Come on. What does Mike got to do to get that one home? Legs still standing. 2 feet on the floor, Coach Leggins.
He'll never stop. That's what you love about him. He's competing all the way through, trying to make his guys better.
He ain't sleeping tonight as Shelton goes right into the teeth of the Pilot defense and hits the ground hard. He'll go to the line. So 85-66 as Sholin picks up his 4th foul. We'll be back in a moment for the stretch run. All LMU, 85-66, 3:31 left. LMU leading Portland 85-66. It's the conference opener for both clubs. Mike Meadows, after missing so many games with that groin injury, gets the start tonight and responds with a career-high 24.
Yeah, he's just been terrific, and you got to love it for this guy because he's wanted to be back on the floor for so long. And, you know, hopefully we get, Portland gets the other 2 back here pretty quick. And if they can get on all cylinders, they're going to have a good chance here, but it's just a matter of staying healthy.
Meadows with the 24, Applewhite with 12. He just fouled out, the only guys in double figures for the Pilots. Meanwhile, LMU with 4 guys in double figures led by Justin Arns with the 4 triples off the bench. And get this stat, LMU's bench has outscored the Pilot reserves 48-14. Man.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. And again, they went to a different lineup, so you have some of the starters coming in off the bench, but it shouldn't be that big a discrepancy.
Meadows continues to add to his career high. What a game for Mike, and playing a ton of minutes. I'm not sure if he thought he was going to be playing 30-plus minutes.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I doubt it, too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get him out here pretty quick, too, just to give his legs a break because of the minute situation.
Shelton, almost a 3-second violation. Arns making a living from beyond the arc, but that time with the nice pump fake, getting closer to the teeth and drawing the foul.
Well, you like to see that because you make him score a different way. I mean, he's been terrific from the three-point line, and LMU has 45 points from the three-point line tonight. Woo.
So 15 threes for LMU ties a season high. And 52% from beyond the arc, that is a season best, as Arns has really lit a fire under the reserves for LMU. His best game wearing Lion gear, the transfer out of Ohio State. A quiet crowd, and it's a good crowd, but all LMU.
Well, they set a tone right from the beginning, like you said. But really, I think more of a statement game. You know, they are picked 9th in the conference.
Yep.
This team is better than that, and they have a lot of good pieces.
You know, and LMU dealing with some injuries of their own. Damian Douglas, a real high flyer, you know, hasn't been able to go with the knee injury. Noah Tates, the transfer out of Stanford, dealing with the calf. You know, everyone's got their nicks and their injuries.
Yep.
But LMU came with an absolute team effort. Their depth really wore out the Pilots.
Yeah, and he talked about that the other day. He's got 9 or 10 guys that he can go to, and obviously they've been productive in all kinds of areas tonight, but really did a great job of setting each other up from the three-point line.
Statement win for LMU on the road. They'll be at Pacific next, will the Lions, and then host BYU, USF, and then go to St. Mary's. So in my book, J-Mo, this was a critical game for both of these clubs, as especially for Portland, the schedule gets oh so tough.
Yeah, and you want to do the job at home. That's the biggest thing. You know, road games, especially in this conference, are really tough. You've got to take care of business at home. And I felt, like you said, LMU came in right from the tip, set the tone, and defensively kind of took it right to Portland. Portland didn't respond and gave up too many looks offensively for LMU.
Before it's all over, he'll score 1,000 points and grab 500 boards, and that is epic stuff. There have been some great players coming through LMU. He'll go down as one of the better guys to wear their gear.
Yeah, I've always liked his game. Very versatile. You know, he's an undersized 5.
Yep.
They've moved him to the 4 spot, and he's just flourishing.
Naduka down low. Layup not there. My goodness. Under 2 to go. Shelton, who's already set a career high in helpers, will just slowly use clock. Season high, or tying a season high with those 15 threes. That's LMU, and here's Shelton. 3 on the shot clock. He's got Jack to beat, and does, and 1, and Shelton will go to the line.
Well, he's gotten Portland a couple times on that up fake. 2nd and 1 here in the last few minutes, but you saw right there, just using clock, letting him go one-on-one, 1-4 low set, and just trying to create, and that's exactly what he did.
Shelton is just 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double. He's got the 12 points, the career-high 12 assists, and the 7 boards. I doubt there's 3 more rebounds in him with just $1:30 left, but he's so clever and creative and is always around the ball, you never know.
Just a complete player.
Man. Meadows. I'm running out of words for Mike. I'm running out of words for Mike tonight.
Well, I mean, you look at LMU, they took everybody else out of the game, and Mike is really first, like, if let somebody beat you, he's absolutely took him off the bounce, scored in that mid-range, shot the 3, and just love to see him have success. And again, they're going to go 1-4 low, just let him break him down.
27 points for Mike Meadows. Came into this game with a career-high 22, and he scores the 27. Lea Pepe, lefty, pulls the trigger. And another clock grabber for this LMU team on the offensive rebound. Shelton gives it up. Shot clock off, game clock at 25.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he kind of set it back. Got to create there, but LMU did a great job just on both ends of the floor, and Portland's going to learn from this and hopefully bounce back with some injuries in the next few weeks.
Shelton, 9 boards, that 1 rebound shy of a triple-double for the great Cam Shelton. What a win for LMU. They were impressive from the get-go.
They absolutely were. They set the tone, defensively took Portland out of their rhythm, what they wanted to do, and then offensively put on a clinic from the three-point line.
Shelton with the 15 points, a career-high 12 assists to go along with 9 rebounds. That's one off tying a career high, as good as advertised.
Oh, he was tremendous, and you can just see how versatile he is and well-rounded of a player he is. He didn't need to go score 30. He did it in all the different categories, which is huge, and that's what LMU needs.
All right, so the Pilots with the disappointing opener in WCC play, and as we mentioned, it just gets tougher for the next handful for the Portland Pilots as you see what's coming up.
Yeah, they go to BYU, which is always a tough place to play, at St. Mary's, and then they have San Francisco at home, which will be good, and then at Gonzaga. And really, preseason-wise, there's the top 4 teams in the conference, and that's going to be a tough little stretch.
All right, so that's going to do it from the Chiles Center. LMU handling Portland 92-72. What a fantastic road win for the Lions. Heck of a way for them to start WCC play. For Jen, Brenna, and our entire crew, I'm Ann saying so long from the Bluff. Thanks for spending your Thursday night with us. Have a wonderful holiday weekend.